Here's your favorite YouTuber, Doralop, back after only 10 months on doing YouTube, with the top 10 worst movies of 2019. Clearly not late. Let's start. At number 10, I have Ramble the Last Blood, which is just a mediocre and forgettable action movie where apparently Sylvester Stallone has bear like hands and can rip people's hearts out of their stomach with just his bare hands. I mean, that was a really weird scene in the movie and out of place also. Other than that, it really doesn't have anything all that interesting. It's just a forgettable, mediocre action movie that doesn't try to innovate at all or to make anything new or that would stand out. One thing that I did find funny though in the movie was when Stallone could not tear up for a scene and they just covered up his face in a shadow. At number 9, I have Captain Marvel, which I made a review on that you should definitely check out. Jokes aside, I do think that this movie is worse than I said it was in my fantastic review. And I think that everything that could be said about this movie and why it is so bad has already been said, so I recommend we just move on to number 8. At number 8, I have Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Bloody Shows. And this is just the definition of fast food movies. And not even the good kind, where you can enjoy how good the action is and how well it's choreographed. It's just really bad and embarrassing at points, especially the speech at the end where they say they believe in people and not weapons when literally 20 minutes ago they were given high-tech equipment to kill people. And another embarrassing moment would be when they still got ambushed by enemies waiting on the other side of the door when they were literally given an equipment that made them see X-ray, and the movie forgot about it apparently. Overall, it's a stupid action movie. Let's move on to number 7. At number 7, I have the worst of the new Star Wars trilogy, that being Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker. First of all, this is definitely the worst one from the new franchise. The first one, even though really similar to the fourth episode, it at least had goofy moments and an enjoyable plot and characters. The Last Jedi, even though the story had mostly really just disappointing decisions, I could at least respect and appreciate on a visual level, because that movie generally looked beautiful. But this one is just so uninspired. It feels like a fan fiction without soul in a way. And the fact that it feels like it doesn't have a soul, which it doesn't because it's made by Disney, is 100% the biggest problem. Another problem that this movie has would be the overdose of fan service. Like, oh look, X-Wings. Oh, Chewie got his medal that he never got but should have. And many other instances. Or the ridiculous fact that Emperor Palpatine is apparently alive. Sadly, by the end of this movie, I was just totally not invested in it. And that's just sad for Star Wars. Because I love Star Wars. Whatever, let's move on to number 6. At number 6, I have Hellboy 2019, which got absolutely destroyed on Rotten Tomatoes. And as you can see from the quality of the screenshot that I'm showing you, I generally do not care about this movie. I have not seen the first ones to be that flabbergasted by the lack of quality of this one, but I was just not enjoying myself in the theater. The amount of stupid gore got tiring after a while, and the fact that the characters were boring and bland didn't help at all. The creature design was also disappointing, and the only praise that I could give the movie was the fact that some action was pretty well shot. And now we move to number 5. At number 5 I have Ralph Breaks the Internet, which, guess what? I feel like it doesn't have a soul, and guess what? It's made by Disney. What a surprise! I have not seen the first one to get disappointed by this, but I only heard good things about the first one, and I saw the pancake meme from the first one, so I thought that the second one would be at least a bit better. I will give it the compliment of the fact that the third act was actually quite decent. You know, nothing great, but decent, and it had some subtlety in the main enemy of the last arc. But this movie was just not well suited for me and my friends, because we went to this movie at my friend's birthday party. So you could expect what a couple of preteens with short term attention span would do at this movie. Fucking laugh and disturb everyone, which was so funny. Other than that, I just found the movie to be uninspired and just a lazy and not well done at all attempt to be in touch with the new generations. You know, us the Zoomers, the cool kids, the edgelords. And oh god, it failed. It failed and fall right on its face. Now let us move to the magnificent, in its terribleness, number 4. Let's go. At number 4 I have Men in Black International. And oh god, this movie is so bad. It's like a 2 out of 10, Jesus Christ. All the attempts at comedy in this movie are just very unfunny and cringy. And the characters are just boring, like, hey, those two actors had good chemistry in Ragnarok, I don't know why. Maybe because the plot and dialogue was well written for them. Let's just toss them in for marketing. Other than that, the CGI looks pretty bad at times, and the creature designs are really lame. You'd think that the movie knows how to set up a threat and solve it at the climax of the movie. Even the number 2 movie on the list knows how to do that. But no, like the main antagonists that are set up at the beginning of the movie are just randomly killed off before the climax, and the real climax is very predictable, not set up at all, and many plot points are just forgotten. Overall, Men in Black International is a really bad movie. Let's move on to number 3, which is apparently even worse. At number 3 I have X-Men The Dark Phoenix, and I almost fell asleep at this movie. That is all, I think we can move on. I guess that by this point you have figured out that I genuinely stopped caring about this video, but I think I need to speak about Angel Has Fallen. While many of these movies were uninspired, Angel Has Fallen is also bad. And not just basic Captain Marvel levels of bad, but really awful at times. I actually have a theory that they hired Morgan Freeman for this movie, and Morgan Freeman just randomly fell fucking asleep during the filming, so they decided to change the plot for him to be in a coma for 2/3 of the movie, because they didn't have enough money to pay him to be on set for more than like 10 hours. But that's just a theory, a movie theory. Other than that, it's just so bad. It's everything that you would expect from an action movie sequel of a movie that wasn't even really that good, made by Hollywood. Now let's move to the horrific number 1. Number one is a movie that I actually feel kind of guilty a bit on putting on the list. Not really, because no one really cares about my list, so yeah, that's cool. And it is a movie that I only saw halfway through because I was so bored and just wanted to spend my youth doing something better, like playing Brawl Stars, you know? Number one is, as you guessed it, Unicorn Store, a Netflix original movie. Who could have guessed that a Netflix original movie would be number one on my list? But yeah, as I said, it bored the hell out of me because the main character was very annoying and like a little brat. She never knew when she was wrong, and the plot was pretty predictable. All the characters were just not developed at all and clicheistic, only to serve their purpose and role. To the story, which many didn't even have a purpose or role to the story, fun enough. And as you may see, as I got to the number one spot on this video, I don't even really care about cutting only to the best parts of the video, if you can call them the best parts. So yeah, cool. Bye, I guess.